Welcome from the JetFin Agro Conference in Geneva. I'm here with Olivier Combastet. He's the founder of PERGAM Finance, a company that operates in France and in Uruguay. Now, please tell us a bit of your background, something like a 1-minute CV. How did you get started in asset management and particularly in agro?
Okay, I started in asset management like about 15 years ago. Before to do this, I was working more or less in real assets. First I started working in retail, and 4 years of retail, and then I was involved in shopping centers and development operation. I sold this business in '94, and then I started to manage a little my own money with an emphasis on hard assets, and then I started to convince other investors to come with me and invest into this. PERGAM was created in 2001. It's a regulated company established in France, which is 2 areas. One is traditional asset management, mostly in selecting funds and an emphasis on corporate bonds. And the other part is value investing in unfavorable situation or in little assets which are not under the spotlight, like farming was like 7 years ago, or like we've done with rail cars, and like we are doing now with real estate in the US on a distressed environment.
And Olivier, how exactly did you get started with agriculture?
For family reasons, I have a little agricultural background because, you know, every Frenchman has a little piece of land in his background, in his genetics. And I was always fascinated by how cheap land could have been in a certain part of the world. And it became obvious for me after the Argentinian devaluation that some land could be bought for a very, very inexpensive price in this part of the world. And we started to invest by acquiring with some of our clients a significant stake in a listed company called Restructured at a very, very discounted price. And then we started to work on the macro, and we were very, very interested in going deeper into the hard asset. And in 2005 we started to look for a partner, because we always try to mix 4 things: real assets, family-owned business, family-run business, and some things we understand quite well. So we had the assets, we had the business, we had to look for the family, and we had to look for the management. And we found the partner in Argentina, which was a family very close from a very big trading operation, Bunge. And they provide the management, they provide money, we provide money, and we started a JV with them by investing mostly in Uruguay.
In Uruguay?
Yeah.
But tell us more about the farmland that you own in Uruguay, and what do you grow there?
So mostly we bought unfurrowed and very poorly managed land or property. We favored large-scale property with no crops on it, with mostly cattle. And we have about 35,000 hectares in Uruguay, and we switch half of this land into crop land, and we have a quite diversified set of production. We do barley, sunflowers, soybeans, we do rice in a large scale, we do cows, milk cows, and we also have cattle. We have 20,000 head of cattle in Uruguay.
So all your operations are in Uruguay, right?
Most of our operations are in Uruguay. We have one operation in Argentina, which is in Corrientes, where we bought a large tract of land, 10,000 hectares, where we are converting actually 3,000 hectares into crops land. And we also will get into the leasing market in Argentina, because we think that Argentina is quite attractive now, given the price and the condition and the kind of stress that is on this country. So it makes probably a nice entry point for the next 2 or 3 years. So in order to hedge our risk, we just go on leasing land, where we don't have to deploy a large amount of capital, but where we can probably add value and probably keep a nice upside for our investors.
I believe in this area, the agriculture area, most investors will obviously be familiar with the US, with Brazil, and with Argentina, but maybe not as much with Uruguay. Could you tell us more about Uruguay as a destination for agricultural investments?
The Uruguayan story is amazing. If you think that 10 years ago, almost 50,000 hectares of land were only really farmed for grains in Uruguay. And now you have more than 1 million hectares. So in 10 years, it's a factor of 20 times more surface dedicated to grain, and I think it will still grow. So that was the first thing what attracted us, undervaluation of this land. The second thing is the climate. as a matter of water. This country has an amazing amount of water. The third thing is the political, tax and legal environment, which is very favorable. Uruguay was nicknamed at a certain time the Switzerland of South America, and which gives an idea of the stability and the confidence that people have in this country. Last year the country achieved a growth rate of 9%, and this year they expect 4% growth rate, which is pretty good. And so that's one of the reasons why we are in Uruguay, and we prefer to be one of the first in a small country than being one of the 100 in a big country. It's a little part of our strategy.
What rate of return can investor expect if he would invest with PERGAM?
We raised money in two times. First time in mostly little 2005 seed money, and most 2006, and then 2008. And we were able to deliver to our client with, I think, very conservative valuation given the price of our land today that we know, because we sold one farm, a rate of about 15% per year on average.
And what is your personal outlook on your business, on the funds, Uruguay, and the new ventures that you start in Argentina? What's your outlook?
My outlook is pretty favorable. Even the commodity environment will be probably not as favorable as it was in the last, like in 2008. But on the long term, our goal is to create value with the farm we are restructuring. So we know that we can add 10 to 15% value every year during the next 2 years, just by flipping those assets the way we do it.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much, Olivier. This was Matthias Knab and Olivier Combastet from the Chetfin Agricultural Conference.